But let's see if Classic can get lucky a second time with these Wall Prism drops.
We're going to get King Sejong Station, a bit of a different map. Let's see what kind of strategy he brings out on this one. Soulkey's got to win 2 in a row. Let's see who's going to come ahead going into game number 2. Down here in the bottom right, in the blue, our Zerg player down a game. It is Soulkey.
Up here in the top left, we do have the Protoss player, Classic, the Chin Toss, the Chin Strap.
I don't think they call him the chin strap.
I think we should call him that from now on, Valdez.
We were talking about him wearing a chin strap. It's a little bit different, but
well,
you can call him whatever you want, Moonblade. You're in the driver's seat.
Thank you, Valdez. I'm going to make up my own names from now on. Yep. Look at this. Another cheeky drone on the map.
We'll just call him the Bro Toss.
The Bro Toss. That'd be cool. I like that.
Weren't we trying to come up for a name for Trap, and all anyone could come up with was the Handsome Toss? I'm like, come on, guys. Like, really?
That's horrible. That is horrible. I didn't come up with that, did I?
No, I think it was Sojung.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good name.
No, I don't know if it was actually Sojung. I think it was just like the Korean community. They just randomly threw out a nickname. I'm like, guys,
well, he
please.
doesn't have anything else. Like, when you think of Trap, what do you think of? It's like, I'm not sure. Oh,
it's got kind of like a cute personality, but
we just don't see enough of him either.
Yeah.
This is a problem.
He did do the 10 questions, 10 answers.
Yeah, and I felt nothing from that, Valdez. He didn't have enough personality in that either, in my opinion. Maybe I'm being a little too critical of him.
No, I think it's granted. We're going to see Soulkey throw that down. Let's see. Oh, he's actually going to let the pylon finish.
Cannon boys. Here we go. Nice place to put it as well. Oh, 3 go down in an instant.
Oh, boy.
That is not enough drones down here to cancel even one of them.
No.
You need 4 drones to cancel a cannon.
And he's putting down another 4th one. This is Soulkey just putting down a hatch in the face of a pylon because he has that pool on the way.
Oh, did he even get a cancel? I don't think he did. A little bit of a misstep from Classic, but it shouldn't matter too much because at least 2 of these cannons are getting up 100%.
Oh, boy. Lings come out. 2 cannons are up. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
Trying to focus down the Lings. He really needs to kill those guys.
Yeah, he has to kill the Lings. And it looks like it actually might be enough from Soulkey going into this one.
Wow.
Wow, just enough. Very surprised
all right.
there. I was not expecting Lings to get out that quick. I was paying too much attention to the drones in the natural. But yeah, there was simply enough surface area for a couple of Lings to get in there and just do enough. And only 1 Ling remained after that, all that as well.
So who do you think comes ahead in that? I mean, Classic did spend a lot on cannons and pylons, but you know, Soulkey, he did lose. He went down to like 12 drones, and also 5 of those Lings went down. But you just have that expansion. The Nexus is very late.
I think they're. I wouldn't put Classic behind. I wouldn't put him behind because he does have more probes at this point. His tech is a lot slower. There's no 3rd hatchery on the way for Soulkey, and there won't be for at least a little while longer because he has to make queens. He actually doesn't even have queens yet. Whoa. So his production is not good right now. Usually in these kind of situations, the game can kind of get just reset as well.
Yeah, but still no queens. He's going for that 3rd base first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did have a kind of like excess larvae to get rid of because he just was too busy attacking and not really buying or spending anything. Kind of makes sense.
So kind of just going to transition into a normal game here. Already Classic getting up his wall. Going to have that Cybernetics Core finish. And let's see what he decides to do off the back of that.
I would love to see Stargate from here, Valdez. Thank you.
Classic is listening.
Yeah, well, This makes perfect sense because of how far behind everything got for Soulkey. Throwing in an Oracle right now, it's going to do a lot of work because Soulkey's not going to be prepared. He's not even going to think about making like safety spores at this point. He's playing catch up, or he's playing like I have to get my economy ahead right now. So everything is just out the window.
The one thing that is good for Soulkey is that he did get the scout with both the Ling and the Overlord, so he knows for sure, like, 100%. He's going to try to get out a bunch of queens to deal with this, as well as eventually spores, I would hope.
7 minutes in, still no extractors as well. It's kind of a scary thing for Zerg to be doing this kind of style. What's your hopes and dreams for the mid-game when you don't have any gas against a Protoss? You're certainly not going to be canceling any third bases anytime soon with Slowlings. Not against an Oracle opening. So he's going to have to put them down soon because this ain't a ZVT.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by this. He's just super heavy droning. That's about it. A lot of queens in the mix as well. And, yeah, still no extractors. Very, very interesting here. A couple of gates go down. Wouldn't be surprised, especially with the +1, just to see him go straight into that third base.
Yeah, that would make
very easy for Classic.
Complete sense from here. Yeah, just simply go for that third. +1, Sentry. Oracle to defend as well. Look at this. He's going to go for a couple of drones. Don't want to take too much damage. A little bit. 3 drones there. Okay.
Ooh, Void Ray on the way. You see this occasionally.
Yeah. I don't mind that either.
We added in. I think it's a little bit more sturdy than a Phoenix. You know, it's a bit more expensive. You can also clear the Overlords with it. Will help out at that third base if the Zerg decides to put on any pressure.
Yeah. That's right.
And a little bit later on, if the Zerg is staying on like Ling Roads or something, of course it can help out a lot.
Yeah, well, that's the next big thing. Like the only other sort of threat that the Oracle would have a hard time dealing with is the Roach. So going for a Void Ray behind that, you kind of eliminate that sort of scary unit as well for any sort of early aggression.
So yeah, Soulkey just super greedy droning. He just went only drones for so long. And Queens and Spores. I guess once he saw that Stargate, he's like, okay, I just need to defend this, and I can be very greedy behind it. Should be okay.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising greed. Going for this kind of greed. Clearly, like, just accepting that the third base of the Protoss is going to go up without him trying to stop it at all. And that's pretty much how it's going to go. Like, there is no threat that's ever can go down. Not until a lot of Roaches come out and Roach speed is finished, which is minutes and minutes away. Link will be done before Roach speed.
Definitely a very different approach to things. It looks like Soulkey just very confident in his late game, just going straight up against Classic. This time he hasn't taken nearly as much damage as he did in the first game. Let me remind you guys that Warp Prism drop with a bunch of sentries coming in, just 4 gates with a lot of Warpins. Soulkey wasn't really able to deal with it efficiently and got very behind in the early game.
Well, here we go.
This is cute.
I like that. If he actually got the cancel on, that'd be fantastic. Very close. Instead, we are going to see a lot of Sentry and a Void Ray go around to the 4th, actually. This could actually just cancel it straight up. There's not enough here to stop it.
You can make a wall with all those sentries.
Yep, make a wall. And the Void Ray there, it's gone. No way you're going to keep this up.
There you go. Goodbye, 4th base. At least he does get the cancel. He was paying attention.
Yeah.
And all Classic has to do is back off. Nice little profit from him there.
Nice profit while he goes to the +2. Actually seeing some Phoenixes be added as well. So maybe he's a little afraid of a Muta switch coming up sometime soon, which makes sense.
Yeah, he saw the Spire.
Saw the Spire, and there's a lot of Lings on the map. Ooh, running into a lot of Lings right now, actually. He's going to have to recall out. That's too many Roach.
There you go. Does save mostly everything. We got a Hive on the way pretty quickly after that.
Well, with the Spire, it leads me to believe that we could see Broodlords come out pretty quickly, which I like a lot. I think that's fantastic. Oh, but very smiley, we are seeing Revelation go down, so he'll be looking for it.
Classic knows everything. I really love the way Classic is playing today.
He's so on top of it. Yeah, he's looking great.
Especially in this matchup. I mean, him against Hyun a little bit later on, I would definitely be favoring Classic, especially after seeing this game.
Well, they might not even get to play it. We see Classic takedown Dream. You know, this might never happen, which probably would be a good thing for Hyun. It's looking terrifying right now.
Nice little bit of damage. Just one drone coming in with those Phoenixes. Only makes 2. He still does have those 2 Stargates, I believe. Or did he cancel that second one?
I think he's only got 1 for now.
Yeah, it looks like he canceled the second one.
Yeah, not convinced it was going to be a meter switch. Instead, just going for that heavy playing Stalker Sentry style and adding Storm a little bit later.
Yeah, and at the same time, he has that Oracle in the back. It just sees everything.
It sees all.
It's so annoying for the Zerg.
And he sees the Greater Spire instantly.
You can't see any. You can't keep anything secret from the Protoss right now.
What's so funny is the Oracle's sitting on top of this Greater Spire, like he knows exactly.
He's just staring at it. He's like, "Yep, that's definitely a Greater Spire."
Okay, I guess I know what's going on. Phoenix go down. That's the biggest of deals. I think Classic might be looking for a timing where he can crush this army before Broodlords are out. That'd be the ideal sort of situation because when they come out, it's going to just be that much harder. Storm's going to help out a lot either way, but probably sooner than later is better.
I'd love to see a push come out very soon, but it looks like actually he's just going to go into that Stargate switch once again. We got a fleet beacon. We're going to see probably Tempest to deal with these Broodlords. So I guess he's still got a decent timing, but I'm not sure if he wants to take it.
Seems like he really wants to play that late game. He's so comfortable just going to the late game and making the right composition against what he's up against.
Yeah.
Which is interesting against a Zerg player. The Zergs can tech switch as well, and when you've seen someone like Soulkey just be this greedy, it gives them a lot of option in the late game. It's not going to be just a clear-cut sort of massive army that's going to deal with everything. Because he can go into Ultras from here. He's going to start with Ultras. He's not even going to go Broodlords from here. He's going to be, okay, going to go Ultra and Faster behind this. He's seen my Greater Spire. And I'm just going to surprise this army. If I get the Fungals, I probably just win the game.
Has Classic seen that Ultra Den?
Let me have a look for you, Valdez. I believe he has not.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yep, he has not seen that.
Although he is adding Immortals now.
Maybe got a hunch. He doesn't know for sure there, but safe assumption, I think.
Yeah.
It's one or the other when you get to Hive. Unless it's going for a Viper timing, but that is long since passed. Warp Prism actually going to make its way into the main base.
The one Zealot Warp Prism drop.
Not going to work against an Ultralisk.
No.
Does see the Ultras though, so he knows for sure what's going on.
Soulkey's just sitting back and he's like, okay, if you don't want to attack me, I'm just going to get every tech. I'm going to take every base on my side of the map, and I'm just gonna sit here.
And he's been doing this on 3 base for so long now, Classic, so it's not like he was on equal economy or anything like that. He simply just decided to sit back and make an army. And now this giant army is trying to make its way up a ramp, but there's no creep spread.
We're going to see a bunch of drops coming in from Classic, one towards the right side base and another in the natural. And it is actually going to bring a decent portion of this Zerg army back, actually all of it, and will take out that base on the right. We're going to see a very, very late game PvZ here.
Look how many cannons are being added to this fort as well. Like, Classic actually just wants to split the map in half and make the game go for 40 minutes, Valdez. That's his plan. He's doing it the right way as well. You know, cannons, Tempests, Storm. He's going to have an answer for just about everything, so long as he's got enough buffering for the Tempest and Storm and Immortals behind.
Yeah, he just needs to survive until then. I feel like Soulkey, he's kind of reached his peak. He's still getting the upgrades, but he's got a very, very strong army. But Classic is still trying to make it there. I think Soulkey needs to punish him here.
He tried to make a gateway block. Now it's time to fight. Are you going to have enough, Classic? Because you've been so passive this entire game.
Uh-oh, Fungals there onto the Tempest and big pulls. 2 of them going down right away.
Big
Some Storms
pulls.
and really nice feedbacks there on the Infestors.
Yeah, look at that. Only 1 Blinding Cloud goes down. This army is simply not going to be useful. Oh, man. Everything just getting annihilated.
Oh, yeah. Now fighting underneath that Time Warp. All these Queens and a big blink forward. So much of the Zerg being taken out. We're going to see a bit of a rematch coming in here from Soulkey, but he has lost that entire Death Ball.
He lost everything for not much at all. You know, he did eventually get rid of every Tempest except 1, every Templar and their Storm, but the core of the army remains. And yeah, it was so funny. Like, he just didn't get the blinding clouds, which I think was the biggest thing of all. He only got one on like half the army, but they could simply move out of it and still deal with the ultras. So he just didn't find the engagement he wanted, and you're never going to find the engagement when queens are off streak like that. Never, ever.
Yeah, and once again, Classic, he's really content to just sit there. He was thinking about moving out a bit, but then he was like, okay, wait, let me just get a better composition, and I'll just keep waiting. Let's try to harass at that fourth base maybe. But that's about it. Yeah, besides that, I'll just sit there.
Yeah, if it works, it's cool. If it doesn't, well, I guess I'll just wait. Now,
love the DTs too.
Yeah, DTs doing work. They're doing fantastically. I think Soulkey's looking for this fourth base up the top right here, but that's a nice little choke and nice little block. It's not going to find too much.
The blinding clouds on the cannons.
Yeah, it's a lot of cannons. Yeah, 6 cannons going to do a lot of damage. Storm is back in action as well. 4 Templar with this composition.
Look at how prepared Classic is for that backdoor attack, too. He's got like a gigantic wall of, what is that, 7 cannons?
Yeah, it's about 7 cannons in that natural. Nothing's going to happen there. Classic just playing this painful game. It's like such a painful game for the Zerg to try and deal with because every single angle is just not there. He's been blocked off, and he's fighting into this horrible concave against an army that's so strong. The only thing I think at this point that's going to do work is Broodlords, because there's only 1 Tempest so far.
Yeah. We still don't see that switch out of Soulkey, and he still is maxed out. May want to try to, throw some units at that fourth base, trade a little bit, and then maybe make the switch.
Yeah.
But there's, it just doesn't seem like a good trade. You're fighting into 7 cannons.
We never want to kind of give away that you plan to tech switch either. So it's like, if you start seeing him like throw away ultras or something, it's like, well, what are you going into? There's only really one other unit, and that is the Broodlord. But he's not even going to do that. He's going to remake ultras from here. Andlings. So he's stuck in this way. Let's see if he can do anything with it. He does have a lot of infestors with this army, and some Vipers to get some decent blinding clouds. So it can still work. He just needs creep spread up here. He has so many queens. Where are the creep tumors up here? I don't know, Valdez.
I don't know either. Loving the harass still in this entire game out of Classic. Playing like that old school style of hero. Not really old school, but, Swarm Host patch style. That's the funny thing. The one unit we don't see here in late game PvZ anymore, or ZVP, is those are those Swarm Hosts, of course. Yeah, you'll never see them again either, Valdez. Sorry to say. Not until they get changed again. But yeah, it is a shame. It is a shame that they don't have really a place. Because if you're obviously going to invest in Swarm Hosts at this point, it means a lot of supply used up in something that can be used once a minute. And with that kind of army you're up against, they're going to evaporate Lucas. And the only power of the old school, well, as I said, hold on, we'll go for this fight first. Yeah, really nice fungal there, actually. On a couple of those High Templar, 2 of them go down, but nice storms regardless. The 2 chunks of the Zerg armies are fighting in chokes. Meanwhile, the Protoss army fighting behind the wall with a bunch of these Immortals.
Oh, man.
Getting absolutely no damage done here is Soulkey.
Yeah, there you go.
This is almost Soulkey being like desperate. He's like, I have to do some damage, right? I can't just let him sit back, but he just can't find it.
And he lost his bottom left base, he lost his 4th. So he's in a horrible position. His economy just got shut down, and they're going to be essentially on equal economy right now. As I was saying before, like the one power of the Swarm Host was the relentless, attacks with Lucas. It wasn't just like the power of the Lucas in one wave. It was like, because they could keep doing it for, every 20 seconds. They'd send another wave or whatever.
Yeah.
It whittles it down. It means Storm cannot be used against them efficiently unless you're trying to push through them.
And if you think back to Swarm Host days, this was always the map where we'd see that super late game PvZ. In recent times out of the Protoss, all we saw them do is that Blink Stalker Sentry game, with some Immortals, maybe eventually Storm, but we haven't really seen many Protoss go for this super late game style. But we're finally seeing it here at a Classic, and it seems pretty hard for the Zerg to deal with right now, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks very powerful, actually.
He's going to try to go for an attack here. He's only got 4 Corruptors, not going to do well against all those Colossi in the back.
No, everything got shut down. Look at the supply lead for Classic right now. I don't think
This is brutal, man.
I don't think Soulkey knows what to make. He's like, well, what do I make? He hasn't thought of anything.
He's still making that decision right now. He's like,
He literally cannot decide.
Because at this point, Classic, he's got even, you know, just the production buildings. If he makes Broodlords, he's just going to make Tempest. Protoss at this point pretty much has every answer to what the Zerg is going to throw at him. And he can just sit back and defend on 5 base now. Although Classic looking like he wants to put on some aggression.
Yeah, looks like he will. Finally decides to move out. He has that perfect composition he wanted. It's time to kill bases. He's still got a lot of storms left over as well. That fight was that one-sided, so he didn't have to use everything. And he's going to deal with that base in the mid-right. Maybe go for that middle one now. It's going to be a bit harder to crack, though, especially if there's Vipers.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see how Classic decides to engage onto this. Tempest positioning going to be very key here. No pulls just yet, but huge blinding clouds on the entire Protoss army. He has to move back. He's taking a lot of damage here.
Yep, that was the one he was been looking for. But is it even going to be enough? Still a lot of mortals remain. Oh, it will be.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a big, big engagement from Soulkey.
I think Classic's just getting a little bit too overconfident, and perfect engagement out of Soulkey.
Still, the bank of Classic is strong and plentiful. We can remax, we can remake. But this definitely gives Soulkey the chance to go into Broodlords undetected, unsuspecting. And we're seeing Void Rays be made. That's not the answer. That's not the answer, Valdez.
That's not the answer.
No, not at all. It will help out against a lot of these Corruptors, though. If he can get enough of them out, he wants about, I'd say, 6 for that kind of Corruptor ball. Would really help out. He's not going to get enough in time, though. He's making 3 at a time, but
Soulkey's going to gain huge momentum from that win in that fight, and well, I don't know. I think he could take a decent fight here. He moved back a little bit, maybe because of those DTs at his 4th, but here we go. Ultra's pushing through.
Still, it's not enough. Look how hard it is to engage in here. He did see the Broodlords as well, so he knows he's making the right choice, and he's even making a carrier. Because why not?
This isn't Legacy of the Void yet.
Not yet, but one can dream. Soulkey just not able to crack this. Surprising.
Observer right now showing Soulkey where to go. He's like, okay, now go to the 4th base.
This is where you will kill him.
Yep. No more gateway wall, and the Protoss army very out of position, and Ultras get quick work done there on all those buildings. Some Voiders are out, but only 3 or 4 with this army.
Yeah, a couple more are about to pop, and he should have enough to kind of rival these Corruptors. But there is a number of Infestors now, which could be the next problem. Fungals could do some work. But look how low these Ultras are, by the way. You guys can't actually see it, but they're all in red except for a couple. They're like a couple hits away from death, and nearly all of them.
DT's getting to work. Some Fungals coming down, but
it's not enough, man.
It's not enough. So many Mortals wrecking the Ultras in the front.
Everything just disappears in a second.
And he's even got a small troop of Blink Stalkers. Oh, that's a lot more. Blinking forward. And all these Broodlords going to go down. And look at the supplies right now. Soulkey loses everything.
Absolutely everything in this late game fight. Soulkey could never find an answer for this army.
Wow. His DT still no answer.
Wreaking havoc until this point. Finally, an Overseer comes, but here we go. The last-ditch effort of Soulkey before he goes to the loser bracket.
Yeah, man. Soulkey's been broken. Classic's figured it out, and he will move on 2-0. Soulkey just, okay, there we go. GG. Classic, man. Great play.
Yeah, really fantastic play. Not looking too happy with that one, though. He knows what he's done to his Zerg. He's like, that was wrong.
Like, I can't believe this. My hands are so bloody. I'm rubbing it all in my eyes.
Yeah, man.
That was a long game.
Disappointing. Unfortunate for Soulkey, man. He just couldn't find an answer, and this is where we're at right now, fellas. People are still trying to figure out what they could do against Protoss in the late game without their old counter of Swarmhurst.
Especially on this map. It was so easy for Classic just to sit back and make 5 cannons at each base and just say, okay, try to attack me now.
Yeah. And
Soulkey tried. He tried many times. He tried different compositions, different units. He took one good fight in the middle of the map, but he wasn't able to crack the base.
No,
you know, he was able to defeat the army, but then Classic just went back to all his cannons, and he's like, okay, all right, I'll just remake all these units and I'll be totally fine.
It feels like you just can't win, Valdez. I don't know.
Let's see.
We'll see if we'll see what Dream can do against this monster right now. Dream, probably the best chance anyone has in this group of defeating Classic, I'd have to say. Been playing fantastically in TVP recently. And we're going to see a ZVZ in the losers, Valdez.
Let's see how that one goes, you know, between him and Soulkey. But, guys, first we'll go to that 7-minute break. When we come back, the winner's match.